It was well past midnight when I found myself at the Walgreens, the bright, fluorescent lights casting an eerie glow over the aisles. I had just finished my shift at Wendy's and needed a few essentials before heading home. As I wandered through the store, I couldn't shake off the exhaustion that weighed heavy on my shoulders. Making my way towards the photo kiosk, I noticed a man lingering nearby. At first, his presence didn't register as anything out of the ordinary, a customer, perhaps waiting to print some pictures. But as I approached the machine to select my prints, I felt his eyes on me. "Hey there, pretty lady." His voice was low, too close for comfort. I glanced over, offering a polite but curt smile, hoping to convey disinterest. His gaze, however, lingered, and he took a step closer. "Mind if I join you?" His words dripped with a familiarity that made my skin crawl. My heart raced as I fumbled with the screen, trying to focus on my task while keeping a discreet eye on him. "Sorry, I'm in a bit of a hurry," I managed, my voice steadier than I felt. Ignoring his persistent stare, I hurried through the options, praying that my prints would come out soon. His comments grew more unsettling, veering into personal remarks that left me feeling exposed and vulnerable. Every instinct screamed at me to flee, to find safety in the bustling aisles or behind the counter where the cashier stood, oblivious to the tension unfolding. Finally, the machine whirred to life, ejecting my prints into the tray. With shaky hands, I snatched them up and turned away, desperate to put distance between us. As I hurried towards the exit, I couldn't shake off the feeling of his eyes burning into my back, his presence lingering like a stain on my night. Once outside, I took a deep breath of the cool night air, relief flooding through me. I made it out unscathed, but the encounter left a bitter taste in my mouth, a reminder of the shadows that lurked in the most unexpected places, even beneath the sterile glow of a 24-hour store. The night dragged on at Wendy's, the steady hum of the kitchen and the occasional beep of the drive-through intercom filling the air. As the hours ticked by, I found myself lost in the rhythm of taking orders, flipping burgers, and handing out trays of food, all while trying to push the unsettling encounter at Walgreens to the back of my mind. My co-workers, a mix of college students and part-timers like myself, moved around with practiced efficiency. There was a camaraderie in the late-night crew, a shared understanding that we were all here to get through the shift and clock out. Between orders, I stole moments to reflect on the incident. The man's words echoed in my mind, his presence still palpable despite the distance. I wondered if I should have reacted differently, been firmer, louder, more assertive. But fear had a way of paralyzing, of clouding judgment in the moment. "Hey, everything okay?" Sarah, a fellow cashier, interrupted my thoughts, concern furrowing her brow. I nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, just tired," I replied, grateful for her concern, but hesitant to share the details. As the clock neared closing time, relief washed over me. I peeled off my apron, hung it up with a sense of finality, and headed towards the exit. The night air outside was a welcome contrast to the stifling heat of the kitchen. Driving home, the streetlights flickered past in a blur, the events of the night replaying in my mind like a loop. Despite the fatigue, I couldn't shake off the unease that clung to me, a residue of the encounter that lingered long after the store lights had dimmed. Tomorrow would be another day, another shift. But tonight, as I turned the key in the lock of my apartment door, I couldn't help but feel a lingering sense of vulnerability, a reminder that sometimes the shadows followed you home. I hesitated as I parked my car near Walgreens, the glow of the store's lights beckoning me inside. It had been days since that unsettling encounter, but the memory still clung to me like a shadow. Tonight I needed to pick up a few essentials, hoping against hope that I wouldn't run into him again. Stepping inside, I forced myself to focus on the task at hand. The aisles stretched out before me, familiar yet fraught with tension. Every aisle I turned, every corner I glanced around, my heart skipped a beat, anticipating his presence. And there he was, lingering near the entrance, his gaze fixed on me with unsettling intensity. My stomach twisted into knots as I hurried past, trying to appear nonchalant while my mind raced with fear. I pretended to browse, stealing furtive glances to gauge his movements. He was watching me, I was sure of it. His presence felt suffocating, like a predator stalking its prey. With each step, I could feel his eyes burning into my back. Panic threatened to overwhelm me, but I fought to maintain composure. I needed to get out, to escape this suffocating atmosphere. Finally, I reached the checkout counter, my hands trembling as I fumbled for my items. The cashier's voice sounded distant as I paid, my mind racing with thoughts of escape. As I hurried towards the exit, relief flooded through me. I made it out again, but the fear lingered, a constant reminder of his presence, like a dark cloud hanging over me. Once outside, I took deep breaths of the cool night air, trying to calm my racing heart. The encounter had shaken me to the core, leaving me with a chilling realization that sometimes the shadows didn't just follow you home, they waited for you, lurking in the places you least expected. I found myself back inside Walgreens, heart still racing from the tense encounter. This time, I headed straight for the pharmacy counter, where a friendly face greeted me with a professional smile. "Hi there. How can I help you tonight?" the pharmacist asked. Noticing my uneasy demeanor, I took a deep breath, trying to compose myself before speaking. I'm sorry to bother you, but there's a man..." I hesitated, unsure how to articulate the fear that gripped me. The pharmacist's expression softened with understanding. "Is he bothering you?" she asked gently. I nodded, relieved that someone finally understood the gravity of the situation. "He's been following me, making me uncomfortable," I managed to explain, the words tumbling out in a rush. The pharmacist nodded sympathetically. "Let's see if we can help," she said reassuringly, leading me to a quieter area of the store. She quickly assessed the situation and devised a plan. "I'll create a distraction at the front," she whispered, "and you slip out the side door. I'll keep an eye out to make sure you're safe." Gratitude flooded through me as I thanked her profusely. With her support, I felt a glimmer of hope amid the fear. She was my lifeline in this moment of vulnerability. As she carried out her plan, I slipped away, heart pounding with each step towards the exit. Outside, the cool night air greeted me like a reassuring embrace. I glanced back at the store, seeing the pharmacist watching discreetly from the entrance. I hurried to my car, hands still trembling but with a newfound sense of relief. In that moment, I realized the power of seeking help, of finding allies in unexpected places. Tonight, I had faced my fear and emerged stronger, with a renewed determination to navigate the shadows that threatened to engulf me. Standing near the cashier's counter, I scanned the store anxiously, hoping for confirmation that the man had finally left. The minutes stretched out, each second feeling like an eternity as I held my breath, waiting for the tension to ease. Finally, the cashier, a young woman with a sympathetic expression, caught my eye. "He's gone," she said quietly, her voice carrying a mix of concern and relief. I let out a shaky breath, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. "Thank you," I murmured gratefully, a rush of emotions flooding through me, relief, gratitude, and lingering unease. The ordeal had left its mark, a reminder of the vulnerability that lurked beneath the surface of everyday life. As I gathered my purchases and prepared to leave, I glanced around one last time, checking my surroundings with a cautious eye. The store seemed quieter now, the aisles empty of the ominous presence that had haunted me moments before. Stepping outside into the cool night air, I felt a sense of liberation. The fear had not vanished completely, but I had faced it head-on and found support in unexpected places. Tonight had been a reminder of resilience, of the strength that could be found in seeking help and refusing to let fear dictate my actions. With each step towards my car, I carried with me a newfound resolve, a determination to navigate the shadows with courage and to trust in the kindness of strangers who became allies in moments of uncertainty. Leaving Walgreens behind, I couldn't shake the lingering unease that clung to me like a shroud. The familiar streets that I had driven countless times now felt foreign, each shadow and passing car becoming potential threats in my heightened state of alertness. My hands tightened on the steering wheel, knuckles turning white with tension. Every intersection, every turn, I checked my mirrors obsessively, searching for any sign of a familiar vehicle or the chilling presence that had haunted me inside the store. The streetlights flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows that seemed to stretch and twist with each passing moment. Anxiety pulsed through me, a relentless drumbeat that matched the rhythm of my racing heart. I took alternate routes, deviating from my usual path in a desperate attempt to shake off the feeling of being followed. Each turn was calculated, each decision made with the sole purpose of ensuring my safety, a safety that felt increasingly elusive. The minutes stretched into an eternity as I navigated the darkened streets, my mind replaying the events of the night like a broken record. Fear gripped me, a suffocating presence that refused to be ignored. Finally, I reached the familiar site of my apartment building, relief flooding through me like a tidal wave. I parked the car hastily, my breath coming in ragged gasps as I hurried inside, locking the door behind me with trembling hands. Inside the safety of my apartment, I sank onto the couch, exhaustion and relief washing over me in equal measure. The night had been a harrowing journey, a reminder of vulnerability and the stark reality of facing fear head-on. As I settled in for the night, I couldn't shake the lingering sense of unease. The shadows outside seemed to whisper of unseen dangers, a reminder that safety was never guaranteed in a world where shadows could hide anything, even the darkest of fears. Days after the unsettling incident at Walgreens, a shadow seemed to linger over every aspect of my life. The feeling of unease had become a constant companion, a silent reminder that safety was fragile and fear could strike unexpectedly. I found myself struggling to focus, my thoughts often drifting back to that night. Tasks that once felt routine now seemed daunting, overshadowed by the lingering anxiety that refused to loosen its grip. Talking to friends and family about the experience helped to some extent. They offered words of comfort and reassurance, reminding me that I wasn't alone in facing such challenges. Yet, despite their support, the unease persisted, a nagging doubt that whispered in the back of my mind, questioning every step I took. Heightened awareness became my new normal. Every stranger on the street, every car that lingered too long at a stoplight sparked a flicker of apprehension. The world around me felt sharper, more threatening, as if danger lurked around every corner. Trying to regain a sense of normalcy became a daily struggle. I threw myself into work and routine, seeking solace in the mundane tasks that once brought comfort. Yet, even in the familiar rhythms of daily life, the specter of that night haunted me, a reminder that innocence could be shattered in an instant. Each day was a battle against fear, an internal struggle to reclaim the sense of security that had been so ruthlessly stripped away. I sought refuge in small victories, in moments of laughter and connection that offered fleeting glimpses of normalcy amidst the turmoil. As the days turned into weeks, the intensity of the fear began to ebb, replaced by a cautious vigilance. I learned to navigate the world with a newfound sense of awareness, a readiness to confront whatever challenges lay ahead, but the memory of that night remained etched in my mind, a stark reminder of the fragility of safety and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. And though the unease may linger, I refused to let it define me, choosing instead to embrace each day with courage and determination, one step at a time. Back at home, in the quiet sanctuary of my living room, I found myself unable to escape the haunting memory of that night at Walgreens. The details of the encounter replayed in my mind like a relentless loop, each moment etched with a clarity that sent shivers down my spine. Anger and frustration simmered beneath the surface as I reflected on the intrusion, how a simple trip for essentials had turned into a harrowing ordeal. The man's unwelcome advances, his persistent staring and unsettling remarks felt like a violation of my sense of safety and privacy. I paced the room, my thoughts racing with questions and doubts. Had I done enough to protect myself? Could I have reacted differently? These thoughts gnawed at me, fueling a restless energy that refused to be quelled. Analyzing my personal safety measures became a priority. I scoured the internet for tips and resources, determined to fortify my defenses against future threats. Locks were checked and rechecked, curtains drawn tighter, and a newfound vigilance settled over my daily routines. The idea of reporting the incident crossed my mind, a tentative step towards seeking justice and preventing others from experiencing a similar ordeal. I researched local authorities and support services, weighing the pros and cons of taking such a step. But fear lingered, a fear of repercussions, of reliving the trauma in vivid detail. The decision weighed heavily on my mind, a delicate balance between seeking closure and preserving my own peace of mind. As the night wore on, I resolved to take control of my narrative. I refused to let fear dictate my actions or rob me of my sense of security. I would learn from this experience, grow stronger, and use my voice to advocate for personal safety and awareness. With renewed determination, I closed my laptop, the glow of the screen casting a reassuring light in the dim room. Tomorrow would be a new day, a day to reclaim my sense of peace, to embrace the lessons learned, and to move forward with resilience and courage. As I contemplated future outings, a newfound sense of caution tempered my decisions. Planning where and when to go out alone became a deliberate process, guided by a mix of determination to stay vigilant and a refusal to let fear dictate my life. I sat down with trusted individuals, friends, family, to discuss safety plans. Their support and advice offered a sense of reassurance, reminding me that I wasn't navigating this journey alone. Together, we mapped out strategies, checking in regularly, sharing locations, and establishing emergency protocols. Taking proactive steps became a priority. I enrolled in self-defense classes, eager to equip myself with skills that could empower me in moments of vulnerability. The physical training mirrored my mental resolve, to be prepared, to be aware, and to assert my right to safety. But amidst the precautions, I refused to surrender to fear. Each decision to step out alone was a declaration of resilience, a testament to my determination not to be defined by past experiences. I embraced each outing with cautious optimism, finding solace in reclaiming my sense of freedom and independence. Moving forward wasn't just about protecting myself, it was about reclaiming my narrative, reclaiming my right to navigate the world without fear. With each proactive step, each conversation about safety, I reaffirmed my commitment to living boldly, unapologetically, and on my own terms. The road ahead was uncertain, dotted with shadows of past encounters, but I faced it with a newfound strength, a strength forged in adversity and fueled by a relentless spirit of resilience. As I looked towards the future, I knew that I was not just moving forward. I was reclaiming my power, one step at a time. A few weeks had passed since that unsettling night at Walgreens, and a subtle shift had taken place within me. As I sat in the comfort of my living room, a sense of security and empowerment settled over me like a warm blanket. Reflecting on the journey of personal growth and resilience, I couldn't help but marvel at how far I had come. The fear that once gripped me had evolved into a quiet strength, a testament to my ability to confront adversity and emerge stronger. I had sought support from friends and family, leaning on their guidance and understanding during moments of uncertainty. Their unwavering presence had been a lifeline, reminding me of the power of community and connection in times of need. Seeing a therapist or counselor had been a pivotal step in my healing journey. Talking through my experiences, processing the emotions that had surfaced, and learning coping strategies had been instrumental in reclaiming my sense of peace and stability. With each session, I gained new insights and tools to navigate the complexities of fear and resilience. The journey wasn't linear. There were moments of doubt and vulnerability, but I embraced them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Moving forward, I carried with me a newfound confidence, a confidence grounded in my ability to protect myself, to set boundaries, and to advocate for my own well-being. The shadows of past encounters no longer held sway over my spirit. Instead, they served as reminders of the strength I had cultivated along the way. As I looked towards the future, I knew that I was not defined by the challenges I had faced, but by the resilience with which I had faced them. I embraced each day with gratitude and determination, knowing that I had reclaimed my power and my voice in the face of adversity. Closure wasn't just about moving on. It was about embracing the lessons learned, honoring the journey, and celebrating the person I had become. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit renewed, I stepped forward into the unknown, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead with courage and resilience.